Hi, you guys. I just wanted to share with some of you guys a dream that God had given me a couple months ago. Um, He showed me this mechanical device and it wasn't working. So I checked the batteries because that's my first instinct, and it wasn't the batteries. And I'm looking at it going, oh my gosh, this is complicated. There's wires, there's chips, there's all kinds of stuff. And then he said to me, when you rebuild the wall, then the power's gonna fall. And I was like, what? And then he showed me a string of Christmas tree lights. And he said, my people are burnt out. And I understood what that was because when I was little, and if one light bulb was burnt out on a string of Christmas tree lights, the whole thing was dead. They would not light up until you replaced that one bulb. And I just really felt like the Lord was like telling his people that this was right after the COVID thing and everything shut down. And I just really felt like God was telling us that it was supposed to be a time for us to refresh ourselves. And then I went back to the other part of the dream because it was a little confusing to me and I didn't quite understand what God wanted me to do with it. And I looked at it as you have to rebuild the wall, as you, like God's people, need to rebuild the wall. And that's how I looked at it. And it came back to me later that he was actually telling me that I need to rebuild the wall. And I was like, okay, God, what do you want from me? And he started showing me where the mechanical device again. He said the batteries were not the problem. Like no, the batteries weren't the problem. Like I checked to see what they were in backwards and they were fine. So that was not the problem. And he said, that's right, because I am the batteries and I am not the problem. And he said the mechanical device is the church. And he told me that the church is broken right now. It's not that God's not hooked into the church. He's exactly where he's supposed to be. But he said, and even some parts of it are flowing, but as a whole, he said, it's broken. It's not working right. My church is not working right. And then he said to me, the reason why we're not at church right now is because it's closed down for reconstruction. He has some things he wants to do in his people in order for us to back open the churches. And if God really wanted us back in the church right now, we would be there. If that was really what the Spirit of the Lord was doing right now, we would be in church right now. But the Spirit of the Lord is trying to get some things to happen in his people so that when we come back together, we are effective vessels, that we are an effective church. And he really wants the power flowing and the Spirit moving in this church. So right now, what I am trying to do is rebuild a wall of righteousness. And I want to quote Ezekiel 22:30 that says, I was looking for someone to build a wall and stand in the gap, building up a wall of righteousness for this city and to stand in the gap for it. So I am asking and I'm looking for people that want to help me to rebuild the wall in Yakima, in this church, and to get some stuff accomplished for God. And the Lord was showing me, he said, when he says, follow me to his disciples, they dropped everything and they followed him. So if I'm appealing to any of you to follow what God, just to build this wall, he needs people that are sacrificing things, spending more time in prayer, cleansing themselves of things that they should not be doing right now. I am looking for people that are willing to rebuild the wall with me. So if you're one of those people, will you please contact me, get a hold of me. I got some stuff that I want to do, and I'm probably going to do a Zoom meeting. I'll give that at a day or late. But I just need people right now to get on board with this so we can start getting a wall rebuilt in this city to see God's power flowing. And I'll talk to you later.